morning guys, how you doing? It's Sunday evening here on the 14th, about 6 o'clock here in Spain, so it can be about 5 o'clock UK time. I'm hoping you're alright. I wanted to talk to you about we've got this Mars Uranus opposition, guys, that's happening sort of Thursday, Friday. Well, it comes in Wednesday really, but you're going to feel the energy as you move forward from that point. And this is sort of this is a sort of a precursor, I think, really, with regards the full moon eclipse that's coming up as well. So just going to get my notes up, guys, for this full moon and see what we've got. I've made quite a few notes here, so just let me get these up. Um, this particular eclipse, and it is a partial eclipse, it's not absolutely total, but it's not far off. And this energy is very much about, yeah, intensity, to say the least. It is about intensity, but it is also full moon in Taurus. Now, as I say, it's going to be partially eclipsed, but almost total, and it will take place on Friday the 19th. I have set the chart at about 9 o'clock London time on the 19th. So this eclipse is going to be the longest partial lunar eclipse since around 1440. I've done a bit of digging, used a bit of Scorpio, and I thought, right, okay. And it's actually going to hold that title, are you ready for this, until 2669. That's what the astronomy is telling us anyway. So that's actually about 580 some years, actually. Um, since we had this sort of similar sort of energy. So it is worth mentioning, by the way, that the printing press was invented in about 1447, and that actually revolutionised communication and the written words. And we have got a stellium of energy actually in Gemini on this full moon eclipse in Taurus. Now, Gemini is language, it is about communication. You know, it's the communication planet, Hermes, the winged messenger. Whether or not that's spoken language or whether or not it's binary, so your IPS server or either way, it is the transmission of communication. Yeah, can be hearsay and chat, but at the end of the day, it is very interesting that Zuckerberg and his posse are now, employing this tactic, another quantum leap here with his AI and his metaverse. So yeah, timing's really interesting. All right, so this sort of partial eclipse, as I said, it is going to be the longest of this century by far, and the longest total eclipse actually took place in 2018, and we do know what followed that in the sort of late months of 18, early months of 2019. So yeah, I do feel that this is going to be quite an intense time, particularly with this Mars opposing Uranus, guys, coming up this week as well. So it is important that we um, stay stay awake, and also be mindful of little accidents and things like that. There can be a bit of power play going on there as well. Don't forget that Mars is in Scorpio along with Mercury in Scorpio and also the Sun in Scorpio still. So there can be little power plays. So we need to be aware of that. I do feel that the energy is definitely going to build, and certainly any sort of mass gathering or anything like that could be very, very intense around. I know a lot of it's happening with the alternative thinkers, let's put it like that way, and that's going to be coming up on Saturday. I did speak to you about how more people are becoming more informed, and I think that certainly with this Gemini energy in the sky as well, and of course what we've got with that North Node in Gemini, and obviously we've got the Sun now in conjunction with the South Node and Vesta, guys, in Sagittarius. Okay, now, you know, we've got Jupiter square the moon, the sun and Mercury, and as I said, they're both in Scorpio, all of that. So soul searching stuff now, guys. I think, soul searching. Have we changed the way we think about something? Have our perspectives changed? So, you know, do we now make a jump into new sort of patterns of living and relating, Venus, both with ourselves, but it is around sort of others as well, deep emotional ties, and also with Saturn. I talked to you about the Saturn, the karmic energy. Is it breaking old karmic patterns? Around the same old scenarios that we get ourselves into with relationship. Is it patterns of belief, around our personal direction, our philosophies? So this moon is going to conjunct that north node in Gemini, along with Ceres and Lilith. Now Lilith is actually intercepted in the sixth house. Now, when we get an intercepted energy, it's sort of bordering both energies, really. It's sort of pulled from that seventh into that sixth. So it is suggesting that the energies of both Libra, Venus feelings, and that Virgo, Mercury energy, which of course is in psychological Scorpio, we're working through the BS, if you like, right, which is what I spoke to you about. So looking much more deeply at relationships, much more deeply at a lot of things, frankly. And, this Scorpio sun, as I said, conjunct this Sag moon, along with Vesta. Now, Vesta, the Earth Mother, the sacred, the sacred flame, if you like. And of course, Venus is now in Capricorn, guys. So, I feel that Venus here can allow for more commitment to a belief or a relationship, or the decisions that we've made, but Scorpio, particularly with this full moon, it is asking us to flush the residual energies, if you like, of past situations and renew in some way, all right? And thereby, I think, forging stronger, more committed energies to, the situation, the philosophy, the belief, all of that. So Capricorn is also asking us that boundaries, to a degree, need to be established, and I spoke about this before as well. So with ourselves, with those others, no more doubting the self. This is what we need to do. We can release the old karmic ties, all that way of living, and I think that there is this big shift coming collectively as well now. We're recognising that, what we did believe, maybe we've now sort of worked out with this Scorpio, we've made a calculation on a soul level that particular track is not the right one for us, or vice versa. So Ceres, let's check her out again. Ceres is both the Earth Mother and the Broken Mother, and the reason I say that is to do the mythology behind Ceres, Hestes. And she is both the bringer of harvest, but believe me, she will be the bringer of famine in grief and anger. And she certainly was when her daughter Persephone was stolen by Hades and taken into the underworld, right? So that's very interesting. So, for me, a broader way of me looking at that is, what do we allow to be taken now with this flush, rather than, giving it away freely, right? So that's sort of where I am with that. But it is, I just feel that the timing is absolutely on it, right? So, it's going to be tricky, and I feel that because it's happening in Taurus, it's a fixed Earth energy. But of course, it's Venus ruled, and what we've got is Venus in Capricorn, cardinal Earth. And we've got an awful lot, I'm just looking at the chart, guys, we've got an awful lot of earth energy in this chart. Now, I mentioned in the last little vid that I did, which was quick because I wasn't actually in the best, just coming out of that little viral problem that I had, little Scorpio there. I talked to you about how um, energy at the end of the day is something that I feel could certainly could correlate with what's happening in planetary, i.e. Earth shift levels, if you like, climatic, particularly with the fact that we've got a tremendous amount of water in the sky as well, of course, because we've got a lot of Pisces energy, um, and we've also got this Scorpio stuff. There's a lot going on, obviously Cancerian energies as well, bless. So there is a lot of water and an awful lot of earth energy, and water cracks rock. Okay, it just takes a while to get there, but it seeps through and eventually bang. And I feel that there certainly could be, um, yeah, real sort of Mother Nature stuff going on as well. Okay, so yeah, grassroots stuff, guys, with regards to the people and the things that we love, certainly with this energy in Venus in Capricorn, Taurian energy. Think about the animal; it does get frustrated. It gets frustrated, and there can be certainly lots of anger and raised energy with this Uranus in opposition to Mars in Scorpio, guys. So, yeah, um, standing fast, guys, but at the same time respecting one another's values, should theirs differ from ours. And we're hoping for a peaceful, sort of unified stance, I think, as we're moving forward, particularly given the fact that I have set the chart 9 a.m. GMT, but we have got Sagittarius on that ascendant, Sag ascendant, and moving on to the 12th house, right? So, yeah, Mercury, Sun and Mercury in Scorpio. Mercury is also conjunct this Sun, right? And Uranus and Saturn in Aquarius, guys. So yeah, and that's coming. That big one's coming about the 24th of December. Don't forget. And I keep talking about this, but it is going to be significant. I mean, I've been saying this for about 2 years now, that the energies, as we've been moving forward, are going to be absolutely, yeah, noticeable. That's an understatement. So, yeah, boundaries, guys. Societal stuff, yeah. Pushing your own, yeah. And possibly no longer allowing others to exceed theirs with you. And I think this certainly is going to apply with the Ceres energy of the loving Earth Mother, and yeah, I mean, this is my way of viewing it. So, recognizing now that some lines should not be crossed, but also recognizing that lines need to be drawn. Okay, so, so I think that certainly the transmission of information, right, um, that we've been receiving, I think certainly with this Scorpio energy, I think it's sort of added to, there's additional clarity, there's more clear seeing, despite the fact that we've still got Neptune in that in Pisces retrograde, but it is actually in the third house, which is actually Mercury. So I think that we can actually, move forward from this, and certainly that new moon on the 4th in Scorpio, I think on the 6th, sorry, I think that helped us do that. That's the beginning of it. But please remember that an eclipse, and we are now moving into eclipse season. This is the first, and then we're on it then. Eclipses can, yeah, I don't like to use eclipsing out. I'm sort of releasing something, all right? So that's important. A note as well that's not really relevant to this too much, but as we're moving forward, Jupiter's going to be doing a bit of a dance as well, guys, because we've got Jupiter who will actually be leaving Aquarius and will pop back into Pisces around the end of this year, 29th of December, and it's going to stay there till about 10th of May 2022. Um, so that's going to be interesting as well, the energy of philosophies and truth and belief and all the rest of it, and in Pisces. So, yeah, um, tricky. Uh, but I do feel that we are going to be okay, and I think that as things, sort of mass consciousness, if you like, when everything starts to come through, particularly when Jupiter moves into Aries, yeah, and then retrogrades back into Pisces again from October 28th to December 20th of 2022. So there's real energy being created. I'm going to be talking a lot about that as we go forward in time. So yeah, that last full moon really set us in motion really, the astrological lineup for 2022, and I am definitely seeing massive shifts in attitudes within that collective mind, if you like, and sharper understanding, I think, of the imminent changes and transformations within our society, guys. And I think also this need to simplify the way we structured things, try not to complicate too much. And Scorpio is quite complicated in its own way because it's such a sort of focus energy. But I do think that we're going to be looking at relationships with others, and the way that we've been living our lives up until this point, and what it is that we need to change to deal with that. So for many, it could well be a time to sort of finally, yes, release, relinquish, or eliminate the unnecessary, the fake, the artificial in our lives, and that is personal relationships, friendships, it is all of those things. So inclusive of both people and possessions, guys. So yeah, there's quite a lot of energy going on. Just double checking down here. Let's put my glasses on to have a look at this one. Yeah. So we've got these nodes that are in opposition. We've spoken about that, but Ceres is conjunct this moon, as I said, and Ceres, she's all of those things, Mother Earth, all the rest of it. When it comes to children, guys, and what's happening with Saturn, the Pluto energy of Capricorn, and these hard stances and the possibility of more control, Pluto's power, and sort of again restriction and limitation of Capricorn. I'm hoping that it wasn't the case for you, but we don't know. And the way it's looking in Europe, guys, I'm feeling that we could end up with more lockdowns. So we've got Pluto square the moon, sextile the sun and Mercury. And as I said, sextile for me can be that inward outward struggle, where we've got to real go deep inside and work it out. So with the Pluto in Capricorn and Saturn being in Aquarius and Jupiter in there too in Aquarius, yeah, a lot of soul searching now, a lot of tribal energy I'm feeling building, finding out where our boundaries lie, and how we attain better stability, guys. How do we ground ourselves in this earth, and today, this morning, the morning of this moon, 19th of November, we've got Pluto in the second house. Second house is naturally Taurus, guys. So fixed earth, cardinal earth, Jupiter, natural law versus man-made laws, guys. Yeah. Chiron is squaring Venus in Capricorn, but sextiling Saturn in Aquarius. So Chiron wounding, natural, the wounding. Chiron, the wise centaur, right? Wisdom, guys. Again with the Sag rising. Jupiter, wisdom. Natural law, guys. Intuitive actions, okay, to prevent further wounding. This is the way I'm reading it, and that's the way I'm going to go, guys. So Pallas, trine Mars. Again, I love Pallas, the strategist, and again with this ascendant in Sagittarius, guys, square in Pallas, right, the ascendant. So yeah, strategies, finding faith, truth, optimism, all of those things, keeping the faith, guys, keeping the faith in the philosophies that we have formed. But it's okay because we've got a lot of, and there's not a tremendous amount of air as far as sort of mutable stuff, although we have got a lot going on in that Gemini energy. But I do feel that that there is this getting rid of now, recognizing possibly that we have been lied to, guys, and we recognize the psychological confusion that's going on everywhere, particularly with the elite, this Pluto in Capricorn energy, governmental. It's crazy, but I think that more people are now beginning to understand that there is another way of viewing this outside governmental, if you like, news, or without it. Anyway, that's where I'm going with that. Eris, goddess of discord, is actually square Pluto in Capricorn in that second house, right, of values, love, finances. She is a bit of a cheeky one, the discourse energy. But at the end of the day, I just don't think that, I just get the impression now that we're not going to work on Maggie's farm no more, we're not having it. So there is an element of that. So, as Vinny would say, it could get emotional, it is emotional, it's been emotional, and it could get quite heated, guys, so keep it together. Please remember that as we're moving with this sort of Mercury, the Mars in opposition to Uranus, sort of coming in as Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, the energy's there. It's really important that we pay attention. Just very stupid little accidents, and we talk about this lunar energy, and I remember my old driving instructor. He was brilliant, was John, passed away now, great bloke, many years ago, and he said, Maggie, just make out that everybody on the road is a lunatic. Right? And I just feel that that's the way we've got to operate as we're moving through this sort of this Mars opposition. But I do anticipate it is going to get heated, guys, and certainly, as I said, by the time we get this sort of mass energy, this mass gathering, as more people, certainly with that Neptune in that third house in Pisces, even though Neptune is retrograde, right, at the end of the day, I think that people are beginning to, as I said, throw away the veils, and we're now beginning to see that there are other ways of viewing what's going on. And I also feel that there are certainly other actions that can be taken to help us as we move forward by governments. Now, whether or not those governments are willing to budge, that's something that we need to assess for ourselves, guys, obviously, depending on where you are in the world. But I do anticipate a few more problems, certainly in countries such as Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Hawaii, who are having a very difficult time. I also feel certain areas within the East, the Middle East, possibly Israel. I think that there's going to be stuff now that needs to be discussed and brought into the light, okay, as we moving into that new moon that's going to be coming into Sagittarius, and I think that's around the 2nd of December, 3rd of December. I hope I've got that right. Sorry, guys, I haven't got it written down, but I do think it is, and I personally am looking forward to that because I do have that Sag moon in the 6th, and it could be quite an enlightening time, but I think it's going to be a time of truth. Certainly with that new moon being in Sagittarius, and I think that's going to be interesting, guys. So I'm hoping that I've covered a lot of this. I hope so. As I said, we've got Saturn, we've got Jupiter, and we've got Pluto. So we've got three of the big guns there. And Saturn, of course, and Jupiter still in Aquarius, guys. And don't forget Uranian energy. Uranian energy has a joint rulership of that Aquarius 11th house, all right? So joint rulership between the sheriff and Jesse, all right? And with everything that we've been learning, and I feel that certainly there needs to be an end with this moon coming up of lies, deceit, deception, power, exertion, where there's been excessive power coming in. And it doesn't matter whether it's governmental, a partnership, if you're within an abusive situation, wherever this is, there is this energy of the big flush, moving away that residual energy. It is an emotional time, but it's not something that we can't work out. And I do feel that we are all going to be okay, guys. But it's the way we go forward from this point. And as I said, there are going to be shocks and surprises. I certainly think, there could be shifts, definitely. But I think that there are other personal shocks and surprises that may come to us. And I think that's been building, and it may well be with this moon, the full moon eclipse in Taurus, we are able to establish what needs to be gone. Okay, what don't we need anymore? What is the unnecessary? And we need to look at that needless things. Scorpio energy is about desire, right? I talked about it before. We want the car, we want this, we want the woman, we want the man. We've got to have better, we've got to have bigger. I think all of that's going to change, guys. A, because I think that we're going to have shortages and we may not be able to acquire that. And B, I think at the end of the day, it is all about simplification and the things that we love the most and the people that we love the most around us, and where we establish boundaries with those people and say no more in whatever guise that is, guys. Okay, I hope that's helped you. A bit of a quickie. I've just done sort of the basic, aspects as I can see them. We have got a couple of sextiles as well, and I would actually like to say that Ceres actually is trine Saturn as well, and bearing in mind Ceres, Earth Mother, no, trine this Saturn in Aquarius, don't forget Saturn, Pluto in Capricorn energy, governmental issues as well around the masses, boundaries. And it's, I think, a lot of people, particularly parents now, as we're moving forward with these medical issues, that a lot of parents are going to be saying, hang on, right? Certainly mums with the Venus in Capricorn isn't going to budge, and at the end of the day, I think it's going to be quite telling times, and I think literally telling times. So let's see what comes out, guys. Take it easy. I'm sending you love, and catch up with you soon. If you want a personal reading from me, you know where I am. Please get in touch with me. And I'm actually going to be working another video on the pituitary gland, guys, because there's been a few questions put to me with regards the medical situation around that, and I am going to talk about it because the pituitary gland for me is very important, because I see it sort of as a bridge of light, if you like, the energy that connects us to source energy. So yeah, in a metaphysical world anyway. So I'm going to be checking in on that one. Okay, I'm sending you lots of love, guys. Take it easy, and God bless. See you soon. Bye now.